My husband and I were in Hawaii, a trip gifted by our daughter. Amidst this joyful journey, don't you know who I am? We happened to run into my ex-fiancé, who's a doctor, and the M friends who stole him from me. They looked down on us and started bad-mouthing us. And who, may I ask, do you think I am? With my husband's statement, the lives of those two changed for the worse. I'm Sophie, 49 years old. I live with my husband, Bert. Our daughter Emily has already become independent, busy with work and her love life. Emily occasionally comes back home and shares various stories with us. She seems to be leading a fulfilling life, which makes us happy. Emily is not Bert's child. Her real father passed away due to illness when Emily was just 4 years old. It was a profoundly sad time for us, and it took a while to recover. However, thanks to a certain individual, we were able to enjoy life again. Well, that same person would later betray us 19 years ago. What my husband has suddenly collapsed and was rushed to the hospital for emergency admission. A few months later, he passed away. Initially, I couldn't accept this reality and spent my days in gloom, barely able to take care of Emily. Working was out of the question. Let's go to the hospital, Sophie. My mom, Nicola, who came from my parents' home out of concern, suggested I see a psychiatrist. You've been through a lot. Dr. Nicholas, who treated me, was incredibly empathetic. This psychiatric clinic was run by Dr. Nicholas and his father, treating a large number of patients as a 2-person team. It was always busy because of the sheer volume of patients. Despite everything, Dr. Nicholas showed concern for Emily, who suddenly lost her dad and suggested she attend sessions with me. Back then, I was overwhelmed with my own problems. I was so consumed with my own issues that I didn't realize Emily was also hurting, and I blamed myself. I'm such a failure as a mom. Maybe it'd be better if I weren't around. It's understandable to lose sight of everything when you suddenly lose a partner you've been with for years. Dr. Nicholas never invalidated my feelings. He provided not only medication, but also mental care. Please come in right away if anything happens. If it's difficult to come to the clinic, please call this number. I received a business card with a phone number written on it. It's Dr. Nicholas's number. Although I thought it might be a bother to actually call, I also felt that I would want to rely on it in truly desperate times. Once, when I was mentally solo that I consider leaving this world and leaving Emily behind, I called Dr. Nicholas for advice. He listened without interrupting my tearful words, offering various pieces of advice and words of encouragement, which greatly relieved me. As I was about to hang up, "Oh, if it's okay with you, I can give you my ID so you can send me messages." Dr. Nicholas and I started exchanging messages, and thanks to that, I gradually regained my spirits. Days without remembering my husband increased, and finally, I recovered enough to return to work. Thank you, Dr. Nicholas. It's all thanks to you. I sent a message of gratitude to Dr. Nicholas. Then, if it's all right with you, Sophie, I'd like to be there for you in your personal life too. What? I never imagined Dr. Nicholas had feelings for me. I understand you're a widow and heartbroken, but to be honest, I fell in love with you at first sight. I really like you. I would never leave you. Would you consider being in a relationship with me? His sudden confession took me by surprise. I wasn't aware of Dr. Nicholas's affections, but I couldn't believe he would do this for just a patient. Dr. Nicholas is handsome and brand conscious. I couldn't see why he would prefer a single mother like me. There must be more fabulous women interested in someone like him. I conveyed my honest feelings to Dr. Nicholas. You're the only one for me. I can't even think about other women. To hear him say this, considering the significant role Dr. Nicholas played in Emily's life, I happily started dating him. But in hindsight, it was risky for a doctor to pursue a patient, especially one immersed in brands. Yet, he confessed to me, a single mother living a life far from the world of luxury brands, which should have been a red flag. About a year into my relationship with Nicholas, formerly known as Dr. Nicholas, I want to support Sophie and Emily for life. He proposed. After thorough discussions with Emily, we joyfully got engaged. Nicholas was very affectionate towards Emily. They would even go to the park together on weekends. Today, I met Rachel at the park again. Her mom, Cindy, and Nicholas were treating the whole time. Nicholas was also good at interacting with the mom friends, which made me trust him completely. Even though we're not married yet, you're already getting involved with the mom friends. Thank you. When I expressed my gratitude, Nicholas laughed. Nicholas, that's normal. Once we're married, right? It's just the natural thing to do. I thought Nicholas was truly magnanimous and amazing. Then, one day, amidst our happy life, Mom, Rachel was saying that Nicholas is going to be her dad soon, since he's going to be Emily's dad too. That's going to be tough. What? I was momentarily stunned, but then I thought it was just a child speaking. Nicholas is fond of children and good at taking care of them. Plus, he's popular with them. So maybe Rachel just liked Nicholas and said that. It could be pretend play. So I didn't pay that much attention to it. But that night, I'm sorry. But let's forget about the marriage. Nicholas broke up with me. I was confused and immediately asked him why. Actually, I've fallen for someone else, I said. So Emily's words flashed through my mind. Don't tell me it's Cindy, Rachel's mom. As I said this, Nicholas froze, his face turning pale. Seeing Nicholas's flustered reaction, it seems he had planned to break up with me without mentioning Cindy. After all, Cindy is married, yet he still made a move on her. You're going after a married woman, and not just any woman, but the mom of Emily's friend. You're betraying me and Emily for Cindy. That's despicable, I pleaded with Nicholas, fighting back tears. Shut up. What I said. Shut up. I was shocked by Nicholas's sudden change. Fortunately, Emily was staying at my parents' house at the time. Cindy is more beautiful than you, and we're more physically compatible. Besides, you've been rejecting me lately because of Emily. To think he chose Cindy for such reasons. Who initiated it? If it was Nicholas, that's truly absurd. Even so, it's questionable if Cindy was the one who initiated it, despite Nicholas having a fiancé and Cindy having a husband. While I was still in shock and contemplating everything, Nicholas, unprovoked, made a terrible remark to me. Basically, I was drawn to the idea of a grieving widow. I liked your appearance. Well, your clothes and hair were a bit poor-looking. But a widow's appearance really hit my fetish. I wanted to mess you up. It was terrible. He never loved me for who I was. I continued treating you because I didn't want another doctor to take you away. It was a miscalculation that you recovered so well. Maybe that's thanks to my skills as a doctor. I should have made you keep coming to the hospital. What is he even saying? I couldn't comprehend. And as Nicholas continued his verbal abuse, it didn't take long for me to be utterly disillusioned with him. Enough! Let's break up. And of course, you'll pay compensation for breaking off the engagement. When I demanded compensation, Nicholas momentarily showed surprise but seemed desperate to be with Cindy. Well, I'm a doctor and money is no object for me. Here, take it with your dirty appearance. You should go to a beauty salon. Oh, but you'll be a single mother now, so maybe not. And so ended my relationship with the despicable Nicholas. I also demanded compensation from Cindy. Being a single mother, you'll need money. Fine, I'll donate this to you. In return, I'll take Nicholas without any hesitation. Bye, greedy, poor person. I was never particularly close with Cindy to begin with, but I never imagined her character could be this bad. At this point, it seems these two are a perfect match for each other. In fact, I even think that it was probably for the best that Cindy took Nicholas away. And then, Cindy apparently got divorced, and within 2 months, both she and Nicholas had left town. However, since Nicholas's father's clinic was in the area, they likely haven't moved far away. By the way, Rachel, who was excited about Nicholas becoming her dad, is actually under the custody of Cindy's husband. Apparently, it was too difficult for Cindy's husband to raise Rachel alone, so he also moved back to his parents' home. This news, of course, made Emily burst into tears. I don't want Nicholas to leave. More than being upset about Cindy taking Nicholas away, I was heartbroken seeing Emily cry. I sincerely wish for those two to be unhappy. I had never felt such a desire for someone's misfortune before. And after everything that happened in the past, now at 49, I'm very happy. I thought I was done with men, but then I met someone by fate and remarried. He's nothing like the despicable Nicholas, a truly wonderful man who cares deeply for both Emily and me. His name is Bert, 53 years old. Although he's usually busy with work, he frequently makes time for family. Now that Emily is independent and it's just the two of us, we are living like newlyweds. Then one day, here, take this and go enjoy Hawaii. I read tickets to Hawaii from Emily, who got a bonus. She even booked the hotel for us. Oh no, that's too much. Aren't you coming with us, Emily? It's a token of my appreciation for all you've done, so go enjoy it. Together, we took Emily's kind offer and decided to go on a trip to Hawaii. Our first overseas trip as a couple was incredibly fun. After a long day of sightseeing, we headed back to our hotel. Huh, is that Sophie? Recognizing someone in such a place, as I turned towards the voice, what, Nicholas and Cindy? To my surprise, Nicholas and Cindy, who betrayed me, were at the same hotel we were staying in. Who's that? Nicholas pointed to Bert and asked. My husband, as I responded. Both of them started laughing. You remarried, but your new man looks, I don't know, kind of poor. They suddenly insulted Bert. True, Bert isn't fussy about his looks and rarely wears brand name clothes. Excuse me, but what brand is that outfit? Nicholas spoke in a clearly condescending tone. This shirt is from... The moment Bert mentioned the name of a clothing chain store, the two of them burst into laughter. What, you shop there? You're poorer than I thought. Unbelievable. Isn't that the store where only really broke people shop? The two of them mocked a person they just met. I was so shocked that I was speechless. You seem to be struggling with money, yet you're on a trip to Hawaii. Are you sure that that's okay? Bert responded to Nicholas's question. Well, actually, it's a gift from our daughter, which we're very grateful for. Bert's smile and composure showed a mature response. Daughter? You mean Emily. She's already an adult, but it's pathetic begging your own child for a trip to Hawaii. If you're going to beg, ask for clothes, not a trip. Exactly, Sophie. Still living a poor life even after getting married. Isn't that crazy? Their rudeness was too much. I was so infuriated that I was about to retort in the next moment. Excuse me, but Sophie is not poor. Well, it's questionable to berate a stranger. I cannot tolerate insults towards Sophie. Bert stood up for me. Huh, what are you trying to prove, poor man? Do you even know who I am? I'm a doctor, Nicholas boasted, while laughing. Really? You're a doctor? Bert calmly inquired further. Yes, I am, the sole son of a clinic owner. I'll be taking over as the head's actor soon. Impressive, right? Nicholas boasted arrogantly. Doctors are rich and can choose any woman they want. You poor people are in a different league. You just look poor. I couldn't stand to listen to Nicholas's words. However, Cindy, all the while, wore a nasty smirk. You keep calling me poor, but who do you think I am? Bert asked Nicholas, clearly exasperated. Just some poor guy, right? In just this short time, I heard Nicholas use the word poor so much that it made me wonder if it was his catchphrase. I was utterly exasperated. He really looked down on people. However, Bert then said something that completely changed Nicholas and Cindy's smug attitudes. I think I'm quite well off, actually. I run a pharmaceutical company. What? Yes, Bert had inherited a major pharmaceutical company from his father. He even supplied Nicholas's hospital. Shocked, Nicholas realized who Bert was. No way. You're the president of the company we rely on? Seeing Nicholas's expression, Cindy started to panic. Thank you for using our services. Watching Bert express his gratitude so elegantly, I was falling for him all over again. So what if you're a pharmaceutical company president? If the doctors decide not to use your drugs, it's over, right? Right. Nicholas stopped, dealing with this guy's company. Cindy butted in unnecessarily. That's not possible. The decision is made by my dad and the pharmacists, so it's not something I can interfere with. Nicholas's face turned pale, and he began to mumble, looking down. Seeing this, Cindy's face also turned pale. Wait, did we just make a huge mistake? Nicholas nodded in response to Cindy's question. Yes, I've had a long relationship with your dad. We played golf and had meals together. As a result, our relationship has evolved from just a business one to a friendship. Hearing this, Nicholas deeply bowed and apologized. I'm so sorry. I'll speak to Dad, the head doctor, about this. Cindy, meanwhile, was in a daze, and Nicholas looked pathetic. That's not going to work. The moment you insulted Sophie, I recorded everything. Apparently, Bert had sensed the hostile atmosphere and started recording on his phone right away. I really am sorry. I shouldn't have called you poor. Nicholas apologized profusely. Bert approached him. I've heard from Sophie in the past. Her ex-fiancé was a jerk, the worst kind, and now you're with Emily's mom, a classmate. How much more do you need to insult Sophie? There's a limit to how much you can disrespect someone. Bert confronted Nicholas fiercely, causing him to collapse. The two of them fell completely silent. I felt happy as Bert stood up for me, and seeing his actions, I too decided to confront the two. Ever since I was taken away, I've always thought that Nicholas is just right for Cindy. Cheating while having a child and insulting people without a second thought. You two are perfect for each other with your terrible characters. So thank you, Cindy, for taking such a lousy man off my hands. The two of them probably never expected me to say something like that to those two. I continued further. And what kind of nerve do you have insulting someone you've just met, especially on a vacation? My ex-fiancé's husband, no less, calling him poor and whatnot. How old are you both? Is your mind all right? To anyone watching, you two seem like the crazy ones. At my words, their faces showed a hint of realization. No, we were just drunk, and seeing you after so long, looking so happy, Such an excuse was unacceptable. So being drunk excuses anything? And what does it matter if she looked happy? It's sad that you can't be happy for someone else's happiness. Bert firmly addressed them. We might never meet again, but don't ever say such terrible things again. We left them with those parting words. I'm really sorry. They kept apologizing over and over. In rage, Bert decided to send the recording to Nicholas's dad. Soon after, Nicholas's dad called. After explaining the situation, naturally, Nicholas's dad was furious. Having met him a few times, I knew he was a strict man, so I could easily imagine Nicholas facing his wrath. Nicholas's dad apologized to us and said he would call Nicholas, then hung up. For Nicholas and Cindy, it must have been the worst Hawaiian trip. If they hadn't complained to us that time, we could have been enjoying ourselves at the hotel. A few days later, Nicholas's dad and the two people we thought we wouldn't see again came to our house. Cindy was wearing light makeup, and both of them had noticeably red faces. We are truly sorry for what we did. They apologized to us and, acknowledging that they had offended us, offered a substantial amount of money. We initially refused, but they insisted, so we accepted it. Then the three of them left. According to what Nicholas's dad later told Bert, it seemed that Nicholas and Cindy got divorced. Nicholas's dad had pressured them into it. It appears he never approved of Nicholas and Cindy's marriage from the start. Furthermore, Nicholas was supposed to take over the clinic from his dad soon, but that plan was now off, and he faced a salary cut. I didn't know what became of Cindy afterwards, but recently I heard a rumor that she was spotted working in a mature women's delivery service, looking quite haggard and having a hard time. Who could have imagined such an end for someone who abandoned her child and stole her classmate's mom's fiancé? But I thought it was their responsibility. As for us, we felt upset after that incident. But after a good sleep, we felt refreshed and enjoyed the rest of our Hawaii trip. When we told Emily about our experiences, "That's a good example of what kind of adult not to become," she laughed. Indeed, I thought again it was good to have split up for Emily's sake. Let's plan a trip for the three of us next time. So we're currently planning our next family vacation, eagerly awaiting our happy family trip.